Craig McKell, CEO of Woodland Home Products. Welcome to Take 7.
Thank you, Rob. Pleasure to be here.
Craig, a little background.
Essentially three parts of the business. One is Beefeater Barbecues, which is a well-recognised global brand in the barbecue space. The second one is St George Kitchen Appliances, and the third one is a specialist sheet metal prefabrication business. Beefeater sells into 26 countries around the world.
Okay.
St George only in Australia.
Right. It prompts the question, who is your customer then from that point of view? I mean,
I regard our customer as being two people, which isn't the answer you wanted.
Sitting on the fence.
This isn't the answer you wanted.
Yeah.
My emphasis is on our channel. So if I had to put a weighting between the emphasis on the end customer versus the intermediary customer, it would be probably 70% in favour of the channel partner.
Distribution chains are notorious with, the wholesaler, the manufacturer wanting price points here and the distributor demanding price points here. And in fact, that seems to dominate the conversation.
Yes, it does.
Conversations with your distributors, what are they?
Exactly like that.
Right.
In fact, that very dynamic has prompted, a change to our business model here in Australia for St George, whereby we'll go to market very soon under a chartered agency model, where we will effectively set one price to the end consumer, and rather than being channel partners in the traditional sense, the retailers become commission agents. And what that means is we now don't just own, in the case of St George, 100 or so relationships with our channel. We're now going to own, tens of thousands of relationships with the end consumers, as well as the channel.
So it's moving away from your traditional space entirely.
It's a quantum leap. We become a retailer. We need to get close to those consumers from the point where that purchase decision begins, which of course means we need to play a role in kicking that thought process off through the early stages of doing their research on the web and wherever else they'll do it, as they engage with various retailers, right through to purchase and then post-purchase and then the next purchase. Executed properly, it's one of those classic win-win-win phenomenon.
Technology. Just about everybody who is involved with Take 7 always asks me to ask people Twitter, Facebook, SEO, web. Talk me through it. Where do all those things fit? Social
networking tools have a place in those consumer discussions. As we open up these dialogues, if you like, with this very large range of consumers on the St George front, we will be building out the back end of the content management system to engage using more of those consumer tools. So I'd say we'll have a wide array of marketing strategies, all running in parallel.
So what, if I'm going to pull out just three things as this change takes place that are absolutely the key, what are those three?
So we need to get our promotion, our branding, our pricing, our conversations to the point much earlier, to the point where more and more walk in going, I want a St George. Don't need to know where the Miele one is anymore.
Right.
That would be one. We will need to really, I think, ramp up our account management, particularly with the likes of Harvey Norman, who are now coming on board. They're extremely important. And the third one, I would say, is creating in the back end of our business a marketing and distribution philosophy versus being manufacturing and product.
So my last question relates to some of the hard things that are in front of you, and much of what you describe is hard. But web, understanding more of the B2C, getting your internal processes line up, and the culture of the people, which is the hardest?
Culture and people, by far. When you change an organisation, the size of ours, that's been used to doing things in a particular way for quite a long time, people find ways to resist, even when they don't think they are resisting. So there's a lot of change management, and that's people management, of making people feel comfortable, making sure they understand what's going to happen and why, and how it impacts them, and what's required of them. So I tread very carefully on the people stuff.
Craig, very ambitious program. Thank you very much from Take 7 for taking the time.
Thanks, Rob.
Cheers.
Pleasure.